Something happens, a comment, a delay, a silence. And almost immediately, meaning arrives. Not later, not after reflection, right away. We don't just experience moments, we interpret them. And most of our emotional response isn't to the moment itself, but to the story we attach to it. The event can pass quickly, and the meaning can linger for years. So here's the pause. Question, just for a moment, what actually happened and what did I add to it? Questioning alone can change how heavy a moment feels. Welcome. This is the Shift Your Perspective series, where we talk about viewing everyday life from a different perspective. Today's topic, difference between what happened and what we think happened. For most of us, our distress doesn't come from what actually happens. It comes from what we think happened. This isn't obvious in the moment. We quickly form meaning to our experience, often before we realize we're interpreting anything at all. By the time we pause, the story already feels settled. But there's a difference, sometimes a painful one, between the event itself and the meaning we assign to it. Let me share a familiar story that I hear all of the time. This is one about two sisters. However, this can be about any two people in a family or just two people having an exchange. Monica, the older sister, always saw herself as the one who gave everything she had. In her mind, she showed up fully, emotionally, practically, and consistently. When things were difficult, she pushed harder. When support was needed, she stayed longer. From her point of view, she gave 110% of herself every single time. And she quietly carried a belief alongside that effort. Trisha is never there for me when I need her. Now, Trisha, the younger sister, carried her own story. She believed she gave 110%, showing up for her sister and family even when she was too busy to give to herself. She listened, she adjusted, and she was present in the ways she knew how. And over time, she formed her own conclusions. Monica never notices how much I show up. She always has complaints. Both sisters felt unseen. Both sisters felt disappointed. Both felt they were giving more than they were receiving. So what actually happened? Two sisters showed up for each other in the ways they understood how. Each sister offered effort shaped by their own personality, timing, capacity, and expectation. And that's the event. That's what happened. Now, what did each sister think happened? Monica believed effort looked a certain way. Intensity, sacrifice, persistence. When Trisha didn't match that form, it felt like absence. On the other hand, Trisha believed effort looked like adaptability, emotional availability, and quiet support. When Monica didn't respond to those gestures, it felt like disregard. Neither sister was withholding. Neither was indifferent. but neither could fully see the other's effort because each was measuring against their own internal standard. So why does this happen so often? We tend to interpret effort, care, and commitment through the lens of how we would give it. That lens becomes the baseline. Anything that doesn't match it can feel insufficient or invisible. Over time, the stories in our mind grow. I'm always the one giving more. I'm always the one who tries harder. If they cared, they would have done it differently. Eventually, the interpretation overshadows the interaction. So, let's consider a subtle shift in perspective. It doesn't come from deciding who was right. It comes from noticing the difference between what was actually offered and what it was that was evaluated or received. When the distinction becomes visible, something loosens, not immediately, not perfectly, but enough to create space. Space for curiosity, for compassion, for questioning long-held assumptions. When people pause to notice this gap between event and interpretation, patterns start to emerge. You will notice the same disappointments appear across different relationships. The same expectations quietly shape those interactions and your reaction. The same stories repeat even as the circumstances change. Nothing needs to be fixed for this to matter. Awareness alone changes the quality of attention. So what does this mean? Clarity doesn't mean agreement. It doesn't mean lowering standards or dismissing hurt. It means recognizing that much of what we react to is not the moment itself, but the meaning we layered onto it, often without realizing we had a choice. Sometimes simply seeing the difference is enough to soften a long-standing tension. So how can we reflect and gain some clarity? Think of a situation where you felt you gave more than you received. What part of that experience was the event? And what part came from how you measured and defined effort? You don't need to answer right away. Noticing the question is already a form of clarity. As you notice, patterns will emerge that help you clarify if in fact you are giving more than you receive, or if you're giving in one way and receiving in another. The clarity now enables you to consider how you want to move forward. And this is the choice we are now allowing ourselves to have. Take notice of what's been there all along, to see life in each other with a little more clarity. And if that helps you to shift your perspective, I'll see you in the next shift.